सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् Namaste. So we are now entering into the next topic. I request Chitraji to share the what we saw last, and then we look into the topic about sacrifices. Are there terms and conditions in sacrifices, and who is it who's benefiting from our sacrifices? Who is receiving them? Yes, please.
Yeah, Hari Om. So the previous topic of discussion was is the material world different from a spiritual world? Arjuna asks Shri Krishna that if spiritual knowledge is greater than material world actions, why is that one has duties to perform in a material world? He asks Krishna to show the path, and that leads us to the question if there are two different worlds, that is, material world is a material world different from the spiritual world. So Krishna goes on to explain that the state of detachment cannot be achieved or attained without doing any action or necessary duties. And higher states of action, higher states of consciousness and the truth or realization can be reached only by performing duties or actions, and not a moment goes by without performing any actions. So all the actions are performed are bound to karma bandhanas, except the ones that are performed without any expectation in return, and basically performed in a state of sacrifice. So, hence, the aspect of Mukta Sangha, it can be attained or reached or realized when actions are performed in a very detached manner. These were some of the things that we saw in the previous class.
So the material and spiritual world, they are separate or they are not? What was it that we saw, Chitraji?
They are not separate.
Okay, so it is one only. It is one. Probably our perception makes us feel at times we create divides. I think it have every time there's a division, we can understand it is our human perception which divides because the Yogeshwara always unites. He can see oneness in everything and he's trying to make us receive that oneness. So I think with this we are ready to enter into the next part because in the third adhyaya, the concept of sacrifice is given a lot of importance. Karma yoga is possible only through sacrifice is something which is very interesting. When you do sacrifice, you are not bound by karma bandhanas. Question is, how do we do sacrifice and can we do sacrifice with certain expectations? I did so much, so at least this much I should get. At least for all that I have done for you, please remember, at least do this much in favor in return. We ask that, isn't it? All these years I have loved, all these years I have cared, all these years I have supported. I'm not asking so much, I'm just asking this much. This is what a dialogue which is commonly used by almost everybody. So, what do you think about this sacrifice? If we can't ask something also in return, that means we are losing a lot, isn't it? Doesn't that perception come that we are losing in sacrifice?
You can
Anybody?
sacrifice, you can ask. If you're doing something, you're sacrificing without expectations, but you're doing that, you can do it for a community, for the betterment of other people, other things, for the upliftment of the community.
Okay, so you do sacrifice for the upliftment of the community. And so in the return, the community must respect us, isn't it?
They should, but whether they
They
do
should.
or not, it's up to them. It's the aim is not What will I get out of
So
it? The aim is to
if
do
I do
it.
so much for the community and I get nothing in return,
Yes.
what's the point of doing anything for the community? Somebody may ask such a question, isn't it?
But then what are they expecting? Why are they doing it in the first place? If they have expectations,
Yeah,
like,
I
then
want
they
good
shouldn't be
name.
doing
I
it
want
because
a
there's
good
no
name.
guarantee.
I want a good name, so I'm going to do some good work in return for the good name.
Yeah, but it doesn't normally last very long, does it?
It doesn't last long, Kashiji is
No.
saying. All right, Sugnaji, yes, please.
You have to think about it's God's work.
Okay. So I get some benefit from God because it's God's work?
No,
No. But it's
no.
actually,
Then again,
it's
it's the karma bandhana.
it leads to karma bandhana. Yes, that is the problem actually. When we have expectations, they don't guarantee. Having expectations does not guarantee a return. But say if I'm doing something for community because I want a good name from the community, what am I going to do? Am I going to see what the community needs, or I'm going to see what is it that is going to give me a good name? The goalpost shifts, isn't it? And then the divine work, initially, sometimes a work begins with a chetana of the divine. The divine wants good manifestation to take place everywhere. So a good person is aspiring, maybe we receive some grace. But in that grace, there is a mishram, there is some kind of mixture of personal desires. And slowly, it's like God sees that, yes, this person is now thinking he or she is bigger than the will of the divine. Say, God says, Acha, theek hai, go, enjoy, do it yourself. Slowly the grace recedes. And then it becomes difficult. It is when you are state of sacrifice, that time you're connected with the divine. You are willing to work with the same sincerity, whether or not you are going to get the mana or the apamana. That is, you go closer to what we saw as a sthita prajna. And at that time, since you are connected with the divine, you will get divine guidance. You will get a collaboration of the forces. We've seen Goddess Lakshmi works through harmony. So when you are having no ahankar, there is going to be lesser clashes among people. It's very simple, isn't it? In a group, if there is a lot of ahankar in that person will be clashing with everybody. Everybody will get attracted to either dominate or become a yes man for that person and push the thing project in a different direction. So that connection with the divine, whether it is the society, whether it is God's work also. Doing God's work, what work can we do for God is a bigger question, isn't it? God, I want to do some work for you. What work will we do for God? Can we do something to help God? We cannot. But when we understand, like as Sugnaji has given that, understand that you are not the owner of this. Like there is a phrase in Sanskrit, Naham karta, harihi karta. I am not the doer. Or when the yajna is done, the actual yajna of when the mantras are chanted, it says, Idanna mama, Suryaya swaha, Suryaya idanna mama, Prajapate swaha, Prajapate idanna mama. Not me, not me. Means we are learning to take ourselves out of the picture, which is very difficult because we have Anka inside of us. Everybody has it. Anybody says, I don't have it, that I is only speaking that I don't have it. The Ankar is only telling that I don't have Ankar. So it is there by default, not by something of an individual action. It comes by the game of Prakriti. We are forced, it is enforced on us. So that is why we have to ensure that we remove that and then do our actions. Because when you do with Ahankar, you spoil out some things which are even beautiful, which are nice. It's like a beautiful picture. A divine artist has done it and just given you a brush to hold it. And you say, "Hey, yes, yes, I've got a brush now," and you take black paint and you just put it all over that picture. What's going to happen? Nothing. It will only spoil. That is what happens. So that is why when we do any yajna or any action, if you do an action as a yajna, Tera tujhko arpan kya lage mera, truly, I'm not going to ask anything. Means when you divine also, because then you get fight, people fight with God also in their minds only. Literally, nobody can fight God. 4 Newton force versus 4,000 kilonewton into 10 power 100. What is this force going to do against that huge force of the divine? Nothing can be, nobody can do that. But many times with expectations, people start. So what happens then? Then they start changing the gods. People change gods, people change gurus. अभी ये मुझे रिटर्न्स नहीं दे रहे, अभी मैं इनसे जाऊंगा इनके पास. Good results. Market rate today is different. Somewhere we'll worship, because on Somewhere if we worship this particular deva, then only I will get return. Immediately another var has come, that day I will do another. It is not possible like that. It is just fluctuating. Your own consciousness is never going to be sthira. Unless you are sthira, you will not get what is they call the dhira, or the determination and the poise. And it is in the poise only that we can receive something higher. We all need that higher knowledge. Whether or not we are working in an organization, we need an every day of our life. Every day that we are doing, every moment. Say right now we are in this Varga also, at this moment also, we need higher knowledge. We need to, and like see your insights which you give, each person gives one insight which connects with another person's. Another, sometimes one person's input gives an answer to another person's big burning life question. Who is controlling it? If I say I am controlling it, I am the biggest fool. If I say, let us all try, and you also all say, we are all going to try our best, let us try to ask Krishna, let us try to understand what Krishna wants. Maybe we can all try to in every moment, wherever we go. It can be like even a buffalo can teach us things just by looking at the buffalo itself, if we are receptive, if we are conscious. So, this is an important aspect to remove our interference. The human interference sometimes is very, very disturbing. That is why we say all say to err is human, to forgive is divine, but sometimes to remain human is the biggest problem. If we say we want to be human and we allow all the human mistakes, which all come because of ahankar. So the simple aspect of sacrifice, Krishna says, is if you do sacrifice in the right manner, you are not going to be trapped by karma bandhanas. When in sacrifice as well, there are different, there's a, the gunas also come into play. Since most of us have studied the Gita, I think we are all aware of this Rajasic, Sattvic, and Tamasic gunas. Three of them. So they also, when your individual is there, the Ankar is there, then that stamp comes in. Yajna becomes Rajasic, Yajna becomes Sattvic, Yajna becomes Tamasic. Just because of the guna that is prevalent at that time. Now, when you are having such a solid personality, sometimes your solid personality only becomes the barrier in the divine's work. That time when the divine is working, we must be like what they call a ghost. Imagine you go fight. Can anybody have a punching match with a ghost or a boxing match? What is going to happen? The punch will go right through, no? Because it's not solid. It's not. That is how a yogi should be. Yogi should be so calm and peaceful. Okay, I'm getting insulted. Maybe God is wanting right now the insult to take place. Or a very difficult situation where some very uneven place is the one person who is there who is very powerful, and that powerful person is again insulting you, but your individual self is so receded and you are trying to focus on the divine. Suddenly you will get the strength and you will understand, because you are connected to the divine. Now is not the time to remain silent. Now is the time to practice my swadharma. Then you will see a very different change. David versus Goliath kind of situation will happen. Suddenly, God's touch is important. So to recognize that, we have to, when we do an action, we must have that knowledge of the divine. If we look at a few shlokas of this particular adhyay, third adhyay, basically it actually talks a lot about the yajnas. Let's see. Everything is originating from yajna is what Krishna says. He says, Karma Brahmodbhavam Vidhi Brahmakshara Samudbhavam Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam. Nityam Yagne Pratishtitam. It's like a Mahavakya only of the Gita. This is a Nitya Yajna which is taking place. We are all studying the Bhagavad Gita today because of the sacrifices, isn't it? Sacrifices of whom? Our families? Yes, but also there's so many unknown people. Many of them we have never met. I mean, we have not, we don't even know our ancestors who have fought, who have struggled to ensure that the Gita's knowledge remains available for the seekers. It's like several thousand years. There were efforts which were efforts of dastardly forces to completely destroy this knowledge, to make us disconnected completely from the Gita. Take us to a point where Gita will look like an unnecessary burden in life. It is not practical, it is not useful. And yet there were so many organizations, so many individuals, many of them, some of them even they made the ultimate sacrifice so that it remains the truth prevails. Well, and this was there before also, it is going on now also. If you look at any system, anywhere, there is this system of sacrifice. We learned because of the sacrifice of our teachers, isn't it? In our school. Can we quantify them? Can we tell them? Some will say, I know this teacher was not good, I didn't learn. Still, whether or not you like that teacher, that teacher did sacrifice to give something. Maybe you learned what you wanted to, or sometimes you learned what you didn't want, but you still learned. It was through that sacrifice. My English teacher, Chitra madam, she was so wonderful. Unfortunately, she passed away very early, but it was she thought about phonetics and everything which was not required, not a part of the syllabus. When most of the teachers would say, this is for the exam, beyond the exam, nothing. This will give you marks, this will not give you marks. Here was a teacher who was dedicated, so dedicated that every time, very sincerely, and sometimes we got caught for playing pranks. She would scold, but she would laugh also, but she would also teach. And what she taught really remained. The system that we are using now, all of us are now on a platform. How many software engineers have worked to develop it? We don't know. Many would have spent years of their life to develop a particular technology only for that technology to get obsolete by a sudden breakthrough within a matter of months. One person spends 10 years. Can we say the sacrifice of 10 years goes waste of that individual? Anybody? No, isn't it? It's like passing the baton, isn't it? This person passed on the baton. This was the effort. This created a ground. This maybe not consciously, but unconsciously, because this system is there in the world. This system of yajna. Yajna is nitya. A nitya yajna is taking place. We only have to become active participants in a system that is already in place. Consciously, we have to play our role. That is important. This is what Krishna says here. He says, from Brahma it has begun. Krishna says, karma is born from Brahma, the progenitor, and Brahma of the formless, imperishable creator. Thus, the all-pervading Brahma is engaged, and in the state of sacrifice, the universe is arranged. The origin, what is the Adi Yajna? Later on, Arjuna asks in the Gita. Tell me what was the first sacrifice, Krishna? The time Krishna says the first sacrifice was a sacrifice made by the divine at the moment of formation only, the creation of a Srishti. From the Akshara came the Kshara Vishwa, a perishable world with so many perishable traits. You see, everything is that way. We are also part of the Kshara Vishwa, isn't it? My own body is going to disintegrate sometime or the other. That is a truth. No matter how much I try to ignore, that is a truth that I cannot escape. So many things will change, say 20 years, 50 years, 70 years down the line. How many things are going to change? Everything. We do not know, but this is a part. This sacrifice is going on, whether or not we like it. Just holding on to will not ensure that it will remain with us because this is the system of the world. The Brahma created the Srishti, And in the Srishti, karma was born, the karma bandhanas, the karma cycles, everything originated because this world is in that cycle of yajna. Krishna goes on, he says, Evam pravartitam chakram. This is the chakra which is going on, which is in continuation. Evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati yaha aghayur indriyaramo mogham partha sajivati. He who follows not this universe's wheel and succumbs to whatsoever his senses feel is base in his pursuit of sensual enjoyment. O Arjuna, such a life is but a wasted predicament. Somebody who is running after the senses and indriyas only, not participating in the yajna of life. What is going to happen to such a person? Krishna says that is just a life which is limited and vain, which will, there's no chance of realization. It is just this person is going to lose that individual and the life is going to be a waste. Like now, where I'm in the factory, there our staff, her husband drank to, staff's husband drank to his death. It was so horrible. It happened not one day, it was not on a moment. It happened over years. Only drinking. That is all. That is all that was happening. And actually, he destroyed his inner body so much that the doctor had prevented this person from taking a single drop of alcohol. And that person in his delirium, he drank acid thinking it's alcohol. What a waste of life. What happened to such a person? How did it happen? It is just the desires driving a person, and the person is getting completely disconnected from it. So this is the if we do not participate in the yagna, we are going to just go after desires. Many times we feel this is my rightful desire, this is the thing I have to run after. I must do this, I must do that, and that becomes a problem. So we must recognize it is very important. But then comes the question, what should I do in everyday life? It's easy. Philosophy sounds good sometimes, but philosophy, when we look at it in practicality, it is very difficult. One person who attended a Gita workshop called me, says, I have a life problem. So, yes, what is it? He said, I have such a big loan that I have to pay. That loan has been incurred from my father. My father did some wrong investments. And he says, next 17 years of my life, I will have to keep paying that loan back. I don't have a future, so I'm not getting married. I don't have any other option. Will the Gita take away my loan? That was his question. Anybody? We talk about practical utility of the wisdom of the Gita. So how will the Gita help? Anybody? Can someone answer?
It will give
Yes.
strength to uh, uh, get more money by working hard.
It will give strength to at least right now that person was under such anxiety, unable to sleep, in a state of panic and worry about future, everything. If that dhira comes into that individual, then the person may look at it differently. And the person began to look at it as a chance to fulfill his runa, his debt. We have debts, all of us. We have debts to the divine, debts to the world. Here he called it Pitru Runa, a debt to his father. He said, I'm paying back it. I'm paying it back, doing whatever I can to the best of my ability, so that debt will get lost. And that person began moving on, and fortunately, some nice things happened, and then that bigger burden became a smaller burden afterwards. Well, whether or not it practically came because of chanting a particular shloka or not is different. But by becoming calm and poised, he was able to deal with that challenge without having to resort to extremely heavy medications, which were again making it was a vicious circle of getting drowsy, not allowing him to do anything productive. It was just going on. He, of course, consulted his doctor and then withdrew, but slowly, slowly, he found the strength to do certain things. This is the aspect. That is what we have to do, because when we are free, that person is remembering the divine consciousness only at all times. That is why the yogi, who has surrendered, who has done the sacrifice. Sacrifice what? Sacrifice everything, keeping nothing for the individual. Such a person, tell me, is the person who has sacrificed everything going to be depressed? Is such a person going to be sorrowful? Is such a person going to be upset because, oh no, see, I sacrificed everything. Now I have nothing. Will that person be hopeless, isn't it? In pain, perennially in pain? No, because I don't have anything now. Or will that person be joyous? Anybody?
He will be free.
Yes, Sugna ji says, yes, ji.
He will be free.
He will be free. Okay, Sugna ji says he will be free. Uma ji, you were adding something?
So I said that it can be either. Some people do sacrifice and then realize that they sacrificed everything and got nothing.
Okay.
And there are some people who do sacrifice and just think that, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, so they are not, but then which is better if we have to choose a way?
I think it is that situation that we are in.
Okay, meaning it
Uh,
varies with the situation according to the conditions where the person is in.
Yeah, I mean, somebody
Okay.
who probably has not really gotten into the spiritual life and understood these things will
Okay.
definitely feel bad
Ah,
and want something in return. But once you
yes.
reach this stage, slowly we are probably able to forget. I mean, just let go.
Okay. Means the person who has done that step of taking the leap of surrendering to the divine, that person will not be bothered, isn't it,
Yeah,
Tomaji? Isn't that what you are saying?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Now the faith, there is like, now what to worry? It is the divine that is going has to take care. I have already surrendered. I have nothing to lose. I am free. Yes, Dr. Bhavanaji wants to add something. Yes, please.
Yeah, simply on the physical plane, I belong to the doctor profession. So we have a blood bank, and
Mm.
I myself tried to give blood donation. There is a extreme happiness. It is not nothing thinking, because I am already seeing blood donation several times. But when I gave myself just physical part of my blood for the patient, I don't know whom it is taken and everything, but it gave me immense happiness. And I asked many of them while taking blood also, when I was posted in blood bank, everyone felt good about it, except for those who are professional donors, which will cheat and give their blood and take money going outside. So
Okay.
our job is to find out that no paid donor taken for, because it's a government institute and we want healthy blood, and these paid
Hmm.
ones, because they keep on giving, their blood may not be proper uh, for
Okay.
donation.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
found this, that even whether you are spiritual or not, these sacrifices are happier. That much
Okay.
I have realized that.
Okay. So when you do a sacrifice in the right sense, it is going to be a
Yeah,
source of
really, there we
joy.
don't know where the blood will
Okay.
go, who will
Okay.
take,
Yes. Yes.
nothing.
Dr. Bhavanaji has given her from her lived experience of in a blood bank. It is true, and it's something special because sometimes you get happy because you are donating to somebody you know. That is something. But then that is also a great happiness actually. For me, I got the very good blessing of being able to donate platelets for my own childhood classmate. She was going through a cancer treatment, and it was many people said, "Don't do it. It's not right. It's not safe. They're going to do this. This may have some infection." But I did not think about it. But I knew, so I got happiness. Maybe there was maybe a bit of swartha of my friend that I'm donating. But here, Dr. Bhavanaji talks about the joy in even giving to somebody you don't know. You may never meet that person again in life, and yet that is the adhyatmic ananda which comes in sacrifice, meaning that joy of sacrifice that's coming in. That's all that is needed. Sita ji, you were adding something. Sita Lakshmi ji, were you?
Yes, yes.
Sir, Sushuji. Actually, I just wanted to ask you one thing that in one through an example, and a father in his old age, he has four children. Gives his he also in his will that he has given his property and his solid property assets to his only one son, and he has three daughters. Suppose. And he has
Okay.
given it to his father, the son, but they're very closely knitted family. All the siblings are closely
Okay.
knitted, and the daughters, he has given only few liquid cashes that he had in few
Okay.
banks.
Right.
And the daughters, and that's maybe around
Unequally, no? He has done
uh,
unequally.
4 or 5 lakhs, maybe. But that
Okay.
asset will be almost a 1 crore or maybe like that, something like
Okay.
that. More than that, maybe 2 crores also. So what do you say? So but all the other daughters are giving silently because we have a close knit family. So is it called sacrifice?
No,
And all
that
are
is
well
not
settled.
first
All are
is
well
the
settled. All are well settled. Equally
right,
well
right,
settled.
right.
So that
Yes, yes.
manufacturing, you will say, no, it
Uh,
they feel that we don't feel like asking or going for the court and asking and why it is not fair. And the father passed away, but they are still close knitted family, a very good attachment they had. But the will was,
and that
uh,
created a divide, isn't it, among
but
all of them?
that divide was only under me. It's not shown outside. We could not show
Okay,
that such
but
a loving family we are. And they are. So
okay.
what do you say? Call it
No, that division was
situation.
itself unequal in the first place.
Yeah.
The one, if somebody who has received it, if that person has the good sense, that person should actually ensure, the son should ensure, as a good son, as a right upholding what is dharma, no? There's a bhratru dharma also, there's a putra dharma also, there is a dharma towards the family also. So that dharma is to be upheld. Now that dharma, if that is upheld, then there is going to be proper harmony. Otherwise, outer harmony, inner disharmony. Because if inside there will be discontent because this was unequally done. Now, as far as the case, it depends on the individual because so many factors some people have. The in Marathi there is a nice Manachi shloka is sometimes Nakore mana dravyate pudhilanse. Let it be. Some of them sacrifice everything. Some people leave everything. Don't give me a penny. I don't care. I want to walk ahead on my life's path. It is okay. It may not be right. That is one option. But if there is adharma happening, no, then Mahabharata also happened because of property, unequal property division only, isn't it? Sita Lakshmi ji. The Kauravas took over. So that can happen. It may not happen immediately. It may happen later on. So then when somebody feels Swadharma is getting destroyed, that person should get up and speak. Sometimes out of politeness, if somebody is not even talking, then it may perpetuate something. But aspect of somebody else's, it's okay. My father may give me something, he may not give me something. It is okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
That's what the
I
daughters
don't
are
need.
feeling. That's what the daughters are feeling. You give me
That's the
something,
right
there's another
attitude. That's the
thinking.
right attitude, and
Yeah.
that is the right attitude, and it is a wrong attitude
Moreover,
of
the
the
daughters, all the
son.
daughters have settled outside that native place.
Yeah,
When the
right,
parents are
right.
not, they have went to dinner. The son is only taking care
No,
of the
yeah, right. It's no sacrifice. Only probably the daughters are. That is when the daughters are taking a sacrifice here in this case that you are talking about. They are doing the sacrifice. If they do it without any ill will and forget it and move on, because now
Yeah.
what? Because court cases go on. No? They go on for a very long time.
Yeah.
If father fights, they starts a court case and the resolution comes and the son is now old and is just managing to go to the court. And then that time it says, oh, it was wrongly done 55 years back. What's the use there? But if it is, if this is the, not like we cannot use it like a SOP, for all times. This much we can understand. If something has not come to us, it has not come to us. Let's go ahead. Because I
Yeah.
know some daughters who have not just asked nothing from their parents,
Mm.
they have left what they have earned also without a thought and worry and take it. I have my direction to move ahead. I don't need it. Divine is going to give me because like the higher God is there everywhere and there is dharma, there is what is satya and there is justice also. It happens.
If there
Karma
is
is
a
there.
desire,
Kala is. Yes, Sugnaji?
if there is a desire connected, then there is no sacrifice, no?
Yes. If there's a desire connect, it spoils
Then,
everything. It
then this
spoils.
is a daughter's adjustment.
Yeah, it is a compromise. And the
Compromise, yes.
problem with compromise is it is not a solution.
Yes.
The snake will again come up to when compromise and
Yes.
situation changes, no? Means now you see two people quarreling and then one of them has compromised. देखता हूँ अभी देख नहीं पा रहा हूँ रुको
My time will
मेरा
come.
टाइम आएगा मेरा नंबर आएगा तब दिखाऊंगा तब बताऊंगा what is going to happen is sometime if there is reconciliation it's a different story all have understood all have agreed to move ahead but compromises sometimes are not going to give a solution. I think Sugnaji has said something very nicely that if there is a smallest element of desire, then there will not be satisfaction. There will not be that what we can say closure. Like I told you, example of a person, own wealth person is given. Like look at the other son I was talking about. He has a sister also. He has his own personal life to lead. But he is now his father many times has cried in front of him only because I don't know what I have done to you. I am sorry. But that sorry will not wipe off the debt. This boy is now having so many years ahead, a decade of his most important years of life he is going to be spending. He has willingly taken this is my road and this is my path. Swaha, when the yajna is done, Swaha is actually giving. Giving away means then no looking back. After doing the dana, this has happened. Going, all right. Now I'm not going to turn back because every time you turn back, it is going to create a trouble as long as there is attachment. Attachment is not there, it's all right. Nothing. And then a higher aspect comes into the place. Means even, like I said, materially best example I can think of is that person who is left own wealth earned at the start of the career, left it to the family. Do whatever you want, did not even ask. And the family also did not say, we don't want it. Just so easy, no? Your life is starting. I'm not going to give you something more. Child, this is your earning at least. Don't make us so guilty and allow us to keep it. Take it. But no, because there is desire. Some amount may be there, no? Some amount will be there that will hold on and that will lead to wrong action. That is what we can say. That is karma bandhanas will come in. Swartha enters psychology, Swartha enters Acharan, Swartha enters in the actions and then consequences come in. That is why if you see here, 17th shloka, because that person is so free, sacrificed everything to the divine that this person has nothing to worry at all. Not the slightest worry of what will happen, what is going to happen, what should I do new, what should I start. I am not the karta, doer is the divine. Let the divine do what needs to be done. I will just be a happy participant. Let us see this. Yastva atmarate eva syat आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः तृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते. The person who is reveling in that knowledge of the self, in the divinity which is present, which is probably omnipresent also, and the person is understanding everything. Meaning, such a person may say, this happened by divine will only. This was divine's will. I don't like it. All right, of course, my preference is not this. But theek hai, I am understanding that person. But he who revels in the delight of the self and lives joyously contented within the self, such an illumined and awakened person very joyfully exists, and his need for work to be done no longer persists. Tasya karyam na vidyate. The person is no more bound in this prison of karma. He doesn't want to do something at all. Everything is being done by the divine. This person is just the instrument of the divine action. What is divine action? It can be anything. If the person is not connected with the Swartha but is connected with the divine may say, okay, get up, this is too much. Though I won't tolerate it anymore. I am going to stand up and I am going to say, like Sita Lakshmiji's case only, if it is a divine will, all the sisters can surround the sun and say, hey, this is not right. Are you going to do about it? Come on, let us talk in open. This is something which is not compoundable. Are you going to? We can't force you, but at least say it in our face that you want to keep all of it. then we will not ask you again. And suddenly things might be different. But it is actually important aspect is the individual's aham bhava. As long as that is there, this rajas force comes in, tamas force comes in. Or then we have to go to a state which is Krishna says later on in the Gita, which is very difficult, gunatita, which is beyond all the three gunas. How do we enter into that? We'll have to see that. Before that, we have to surrender to the divine. So here, if we are not connected at all with the outcomes, we are just going to look at what needs to be done. What is the duty of my moment? What is my swadharma telling me? Swa in the sense, not the selfish swa. The swa is connected to the divine. What does God want me to do? What is my offering to Krishna? Which is the right thing to do right now? Many times when you don't know, you have to do what Arjuna does. Ask Krishna. It's so simple. It's so simple. What should I do? यत् श्रेयः स्यान्निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. Krishna, please. My emotions are overwhelming me. I don't understand what is right. Help me go to a state which is beyond these emotions. Help me understand what is the right thing I need to do. Then what is going to happen? Then there is going to be santosha, the ananda, the trupti is there, the satisfaction, the bliss. That is something which is very easy to attain, and yet most of the people don't attain it. So it's like so easy to be trupta with what you have lost, what is behind, all of that sometimes can be easily forgotten if you are experiencing and reveling in the joy of the moment, the joy of what the divine has given you, becoming conscious with gratitude of what is there. Then every moment is like a celebration. You will transform your Vishwa only. You'll suddenly start feeling like, I'm in Vrindavan only. Every moment there is Ananda. Every moment there is, and what do you need for Ananda? What is there for Santosha is nothing. Nothing is required. Like there's a beautiful Subhashit. Sarpaha pibanti pavanam na cha durbalaste. Pushkai srunair vanagajaha balino bhavanti. Kandaihi phalaihi munivaraha japanti kalam. Santosha eva purushasya param nidhanam. This is the ultimate Santosha or contentment is the greatest aspiration that a human being can have to experience bliss. Look at the serpents. What do the serpents eat? They only have many times in the hot desert, serpent gets only hot air. And yet they are not weak. They're slithering in the without just consuming hot air. And look at the mighty elephant. What is he eating? Leaves. What is the huge elephant is eating? It is just eating vegetation and becoming so powerful with just the vegetation. Look at those yogis meditating in the forest. And what are they eating? They're just eating kanda and phala, fruits and roots, nothing more than that. And they're spending their years. Why? Well, they have understood the secret. Santosha eva purushasya param nidhanam. This santosha is the highest treasure, greatest wealth that a person can get. Somebody may have all the wealth in the world, and yet that person will be in poverty. Why? Because there is no santosha at all. Somebody who's got, I've seen people with, what we can say, huge dining tables and so many different types of foods. And yet in each of the food, there are so many cuisines, there is no joy in that food. There is no joy in eating. There's no sattva in it. Only people eating it are not feeling healthy and are some are even falling sick after eating it. And then there is the small home of some rare person who is just able to make ends meet. And that person, they are not having multiple cuisines. A single food, a simple food is being made, and yet it is shared. The husband and wife are sharing together. It becomes joyous. Children are also there. Children are also eating that simple food. It may not be something, but they are eating ananda. The food is just a medium. Food is not Food is something which is going to get, it is temporary, isn't it? But that trupti and ananda makes a lot of difference, and that can happen when we don't have this attachment and we are taking this respecting the divine. And all the Vedantic lessons begin with this only. Sacrifice, sacrifice to the divine. Recognize the ownership of the divine. If we just see, Krishna says we have to become free and do the actions in this state of sacrifice. Let us look at the 19th question, 19th shloka. Tasmadasaktaha sadatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purusha. So perennially perform all your actions. Detachedly fulfill the duties that life sanctions. For when man in detached action engages with his karma, he transcends the highest stages. Krishna gives a beautiful, just wonderful way, perennially perform. Meaning, I can't say today is holiday. I have worked so hard now, vacation time. Come on, I have done enough karma now. Krishna, vacation time, I will not do with Yagna state of consciousness. Nay, you want to live a spiritual life, you've decided you want to live a completely spiritual life, then you'll have to, every moment, you'll have to understand that you are a conscious participant in the Yagna. All your actions, perform them, perennially perform all your actions. Fulfill all the duties that life sanctions. Sanctioning of duties of life can we choose? We can't even tell our boss in our workplace, give me this duty. Are we going to tell God, give me this duty only? We cannot. Life sometimes throws at us. Sometimes life throws punches. Sometimes the punch is very hard and right in our solar plexus. It makes us recoil and fall down. What can we do? We have an option. Get attached to that sorrow and keep crying and oh see I got such a big pain, so painful it is, I can't even breathe, look what has happened. Or somehow try to stand up again, somehow find the strength, whichever way you can, hold on to whatever is around and try to get up again, because life's duties we have to perform. Life has thrown things at us. People are thrown so many situations in their life, least expected. Because that is Prakriti's game, no? It happens when you least expect. Suddenly you lose someone. When you least expect that person to lose. Suddenly a disease comes from unknown corners. Again, when you least expect. Suddenly you have to take up new responsibilities at a time when you are feeling you are going to become free from all responsibility. Well, this is life. Krishna says, whatever you comes at you, do it detachedly. Whatever duty life is saying. Because, why is he saying that? Because only when you do that, you can transcend to the highest stages. You can reach higher states of consciousness. And immediately after the shloka, Krishna gives the example. He gives the example of Janaka. Raja Janaka is there. Look at Janaka is what Krishna says. कर्मणेव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसंग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि. King Janaka and the rest attained perfection only through their works and liberated actions. Detached actions for the sake of the world are best. This is said to be the true yogic way by the wisest. See, Janaka and everybody attained perfection. They attained Siddhi. How did they attain it? Krishna says it is just like this only. Just like you and me, when we do our actions in a full state of detachment, Janaka kept doing it consciously, regularly, and reached the highest stages. What is the motivation then if you're not going to get anything in return? It is Loka Sangraha. Sangraha means, literally means collection. Now what? Krishna is going to ask us to collect people. He's already taking all positions away. What is this Loka Sangraha? It's like betterment of the world by raising the consciousness. Sangraha means coming together, becoming one. Who is asking us? Yogeshwara, he is the master of oneness. Any knowledge which is going to raise the oneness of the world, any knowledge which is going to harmonize the forces of the world, any knowledge that is going to raise the consciousness of the collective masses, that is the greatest. And that is the greatest aspiration anybody can have. I want to better the world. Is there a limit to that, bettering the world? No. The pessimist will say that no, there's no point. What are you going to do? This world is going to get destroyed. There's no point doing anything. There's no room for anybody in this world. But the optimist can see differently. You may see that, oh, yes, all right, a little bit more. I can make some more room. It's all right. Because things can be manifested, things that are not yet manifest. And who is the seeker of the divine? He is beyond the pessimist and the optimist. He's not worried about what is going to happen. I'm just going to offer. I am going to become the Ahuti. I am only going to become the Ahuti. That is the simplest thing. You have offered yourself to the mission. You have offered yourself to the divine. Then what is there? Kaha moha, kaha shokaha, ekatvam anupashyati. Where is the sorrow when you can see one? You're not losing anybody. You're not going away from anyone. When you walk on the path of the divine, you grow closer, closer to the divine. And then when you see that, you see everybody, all the people you may have gone away from, they're also again connected with that divine. Because Krishna says he is the Sutra. He is that sacred thread that is connecting every living being. So this aspect of sacrifice, Krishna says, first gives the example of Janaka, then he gives his own example. He says, see, look at me. I don't have anything special to do to gain. I've already achieved everything. I have fulfilled my duties already. And yet there are my duties towards the world which are not allowing me to step down from my role. That is why I have become the charioteer for an Arjuna. Because my duties towards the world, they cannot be forsaken. And I cannot. I have to lead by example. This is something which we must understand. Yad yad acharati shrestha is what Krishna is saying. Whatever the best perform, they become the example, isn't it? Say in your community, the one person does very good work. Doesn't that good work inspire other people? Workplace, anywhere. Krishna is asking all of us to become the example and to sacrifice everything to the divine and perform the actions consciously. Practically, how to work with people who are selfish, that will be our next session. How, because that's one side you are selfless. You are so selfless that, हाँ ठीक है चलेगा. I don't mind. I'll give everything. But then
Is
there
it
is somebody,
possible?
I want everything. No, opposite direction.
Is,
Yes, somebody is adding something. Dr. Sarojini ji.
is it
Yes.
is it possible?
What?
He told sacrifice everything.
What is possible, ji? Let
No,
us see now. We will see that if it is possible. Because I want to keep some things to myself, isn't it? But if I hold on, will they stay? Can you tell me something, Dr. Sarojini ji, that you cannot sacrifice at all?
not
It is
all.
impossible to sacrifice any one thing that is impossible to sacrifice. Yes?
Part of it we can sacrifice, but
No,
not all.
anything. Which one? Which part? Which part you cannot? You can tell me.
Sacrifice is only nowadays, it is in terms of money only, no?
No, sacrifice has a very wide definition. Nityam yagne pratishtitam. This world is there in the stage of sacrifice. I have met somebody who has sacrificed money also entirely at the start of a career. Means life is going to begin. That person has said, Swaha, I don't care. So money is not the thing. What is it that cannot be done, Dr. Sarojini ji? Anybody? Which is impossible to sacrifice because Dr. Sarojini ji has said that there are some things which are impossible. Yes,
Self
Somaji? Huh?
self-respect.
Self-respect is never asked in the Gita also. That is swabhimana. That is not possession. No, that is a basic aspect. Means later on we will see one thing which we must hold on to is that self-respect. Swadharma. Krishna tells. But that also Krishna says Sarva Dharman Parityaje Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Meaning my self-respect also I can give it away for Krishna, not for anybody else. Nobody else. And then you will see why for Krishna's sake the king becomes the beggar. and then gets a very different experience as a when somebody will say king should have some self-respect. How is this king behaving like this? But there, that is where they become the slave of God, and then they get the experiences. But I'm not talking about self-respect though. But like for example, some people may say positions to my own family members. I cannot sacrifice my. Nobody's asking you to literally balika bakra like that. Go and sacrifice your family members anywhere. It is the attachments that have to be sacrificed, is what Krishna is asking. Because if we don't sacrifice the attachments, we will unknowingly do injustice to ourselves or sometimes to our own beloved ones. Unknowingly, we don't intend to do it, like Dhritarashtra did for Duryodhana. He didn't want to sacrifice his attachment to Duryodhana. And in that attachment, he was blind and he could not see Duryodhana go on the wrong path. If I like my child so much, I cannot tell my child, see, this is wrong. I like my child so much that I give only property to that child and others I do not give. What is going to happen? That's going to again put a wrong direction, wrong precedent. It is not right at all. That is out of attachment, no? That is because there's an improper sacrifice. It is not done properly. It is not merited as a sacrifice at all. And again, the sacrifice of everything to the divine is possible when you understand who is the receiver of the sacrifice. जैसे घी कहाँ गया खिचड़ी में. It's so simple as that. Where is it? It is not gone anywhere. Who is the receiver of all the sacrifices? Anybody?
It's the other person to whom you have done something for.
Is it the other person? Because the other person is human beings are all full of flaws. I sacrifice something and then that person takes it and then takes advantage of me, isn't it?
But then we are still doing it because we are surrendering. We think of it as God's work and we are doing it to the person.
Okay, say I sacrifice something for my friend and I see my friend misusing such a pure and beautiful sacrifice that is done. Then it will not give trupti, no? We're talking about santosha.
But then it only matters what you have given. Does it matter what he does with what you have given?
But if you sacrifice to the wrong, like I go and surrender to Duryodhana instead of Krishna, will
But
it
you
make a
didn't know
difference?
when you sacrificed that that person was wrong. It's only later
Huh?
you got to know he was wrong.
Yes, ji?
When you sacrificed for your friend, you didn't know that he was wrong or he would do something wrong. It's only
Huh.
after you sacrificed you realized what he
But
did
there is
with
a
what.
big danger, no? There's a big danger, no? Means they say there's guru banana jaan ke, pani pina chan ke. Like that, you surrender to the right person. You do the sacrifice also has to be done a right sacrifice. So you have to first recognize what is the right one. So there's one receiver. Whether you sacrifice to your friend, whichever friend you sacrifice, good or bad, there is one agent who is receiving all commission agent or what you call it. All sacrifices go to that one agent only. Who is that?
Our bag of karma.
Okay, Umaji says bag of karma. Anybody else would like to share who is this person who is taking all this like a thief who is stealing butter?
I,
Yes, ji.
I said, whatever one sacrifices, it ultimately reaches the divine.
Yes, yes, yes. Nityam Yajna. The one who has created the system of sacrifice is the receiver. Our love also. Sometimes we love somebody unconditionally, and then that person breaks our heart. We feel broken. We feel, what happened to my pure love? Was it destroyed? How can it get destroyed? If love is pure, it should not get destroyed. Where did the sacrifice go? Where has it gone? And then people spend sometimes not months, years in sorrow, heartbroken. But they don't know all this sacrifice also. The other people are only the external aspects. The person who didn't receive it did not get it, but it went to the divine. The divine is the greatest distributor. He will send it to the right place. What is required, that is going to happen. If we understand this, then we will not feel bad. If we recognize that there is the one receiver. So if we just go to the fifth adhyaya, actually, the last shloka, of the fifth adhyay, that very nicely tells the receiver of the sacrifice. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvalok maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim ricchati. So beautiful this shloka is. Who is this? There's somebody who is taking the bhoga, who is tasting all our sacrifices with love, enjoying them, experiencing that little moments of sacrifice that we do all our life. One receiver is there. Krishna says it is the divine only, who is the bhokta. He's enjoying it. Maybe I might have felt very sad, angry at being heartbroken. I might have felt betrayed. All these feelings would have been mine, but then somebody else just smiling. It's like I was making you get this experience. So you learn something to move on ahead. That time we don't understand. But as we go, like there's a beautiful quote, the heart keeps on breaking again and again until one day it completely opens up. So it's not going to break anymore. And then it is open to the divine only. The lotus is blossoming beautifully. Now there is nothing that is going to stop that. Something like that. Here, when to man this singular truth is known that all sacrifices I receive with joy, for they are my own. He shall perceive me as his dearest loving friend. He shall then experience my perfect peace that has no end. Means when you realize that my best friend left me, it's a big sorrow, no? Biggest sorrow. My best friend, I was calling that person my best friend, that person left me. It's all right. Krishna has removed one friend here. He's going to give one more later on when he wishes. He's not left me, he's gone towards Krishna. It's all right. That's if you just recognize it as Krishna's wish, it's so easy to become quiet, so calm on the inside. This happened as per the divine will. It's like God is experiencing, means what I have lost is not lost, no? When you are conscious that it is going to the divine, your efforts are not getting wasted. There is one receiver, one enjoyer. He is enjoying it. Why does he receive? Because they are my own. Like there was a beautiful song when I grew up in the movie. It was like सारे रास्ते वापस मेरे दिल को आते हैं. It's like the divine is saying all those roads. Look at them. They go different ways, different direction. It looks like they're all splitting up and going in non, what we can say, non-reconcilable ways only, opposite directions. But there, all of them, they ultimately merge into that oneness of the divine. Krishna says, when you are able to see that, where is the enemy? Where is the friend? Where is the dear one? Where is the far one? Where is the mother? Where is the father? Where is the son? Where is the child? When everything is the divine only, the divine is your father, divine is your everything, then you're not losing anybody from your life. You're just looking at moments which are giving you a chance to appreciate the beauty of divinity. Then what is going to happen? Krishna says, you'll start experiencing the joy of the Sangati of the divine, the Maitri of the divine, a divine friendship you start experiencing. Before we conclude this, I think we're just 5 minutes beyond our concluding time. My question is this friendship with the divine, a friendship of the divine. I mean, what is this feeling? And how does it make our life different if we suddenly experience friendship with the divine? Divine is my friend. If this feeling comes into us, not just mentally, we start experiencing it. We become conscious of it. That what is going to happen then? Anybody? How will life look different?
We
Yes,
feel more confident.
you feel more confident, isn't it? My friend, he's a reliable partner, isn't it? A reliable friend whom you don't have to worry about what's going to happen. Friend will take care. It's
Yeah.
okay. It's overwhelming. I don't understand what's going to happen or what's happening right now. But it's all right. Divine is there. Divine is going to. That is how Krishna is for so many. It is like he's a Sakha also, he is the Pita also, he is the Mitra also, he is everything, he's a Guru also. So many different roles Krishna plays. So when you realize that
There
this,
there are few things you cannot ever share with anyone, and then you want to say something, it's inside your heart, but and you very openly say it to the divine, and when you meditate and you say openly everything
you,
to the
uh,
divine, which you
how do
can't
you
even
feel
say it.
then
Then you feel so
after saying,
lighter, and there's a smile in your face, a charm in your
uh,
face. Racho.
yes,
There's somebody I
yes,
could feel it. I opened up to this person. That feeling I have faced many times.
you have faced it many times. Then you have
Yes.
experienced this shloka, Chitalakshmi ji, because the
Yes.
second line of the shloka talks about that only. Because Surudam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mruchati means when you know this, that God is receiving, who are you going to lose
Our
from
head
your life?
also feels lighter,
Yes,
heart also
Shanti.
lighter.
A great
Shanti.
peace overwhelms a person.
Mm.
Such a person is not going to get anxious.
Mm.
The person loves the moment so wonderfully in the company of the divine that there is a great peace, a shanti, an ocean of bliss descends into that person. So if we want to, at least if today's question was sacrifice cannot be done with terms and conditions at all. If the question was, can we do it? No, we'll have to do a complete sacrifice. So, like I think Dr. Sarojini ji, do you now agree it is possible to sacrifice everything? Yes, ji. Hari Om. Probably the speaker is muted then. Yeah, yes, ji. Yes, Maji.
I
Yes.
don't know.
You don't know. Okay, fine. Let us see. Let us see then. Maybe at the end of the sessions, if you feel so. Sacrificing to Krishna is not sacrificing to any other human being or sacrificing to the divine is different. It is just letting go of our attachments. Sometimes the more we hold on to, we feel we are in control, but we lose that. But when we offer to the divine, the mother doesn't have to become anxious. What will happen to my son? What will happen? I have taught my son or daughter in the best possible way. Beyond this, I don't have to look at it. Let the divine will be done. It becomes free. Dr. Banaji wants to say something? Yes, please.
I just wanted to tell that that Rudra mantras, it is give me this, give me this, give me this, so that I can offer it to you.
Yeah, yeah. The Chamakam is there in Rudra. Shri Rudram followed by Chamak. Shanchame, Mayashchame, Priyanchame, Kamashchame, Somarashachame, Bhadramchame, Shreyashchame, Yashashchame, Bhagashchame, Dravinanchame, Sushachame, Sudinamchame. All give all of these. Somebody will say, this is the most desire-filled prayer. So many things. I want this and this and this and this. But no, it is offered ultimately to the divine. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, after he became what we call Chhatrapati. He had gone to truly he became Chhatrapati after surrendering it to his Guru. His entire kingdom, he went to his Guru. He just fell at his feet and he offered it. And you know what his Guru did? His Guru accepted it. He didn't say, I'm not taking it. He says, now I am the ruler. Now you rule as my representative. So he will always remember that this is not my own personal kingdom. That is how the concept of Swarajya was established. What was the situation there? It was so difficult, but it is possible. When that surrender and sacrifice is done, a peace comes in and then the divine's role starts becoming clearer and clearer. Meaning if we want to experience divinity in life, we have no option but sacrificing all to the divine. Until we do that, we will not get the real taste of divinity in our life. That is something we must all aspire to. With this, I think we conclude today's session. I request Chitraji if you can give a summary, after which we'll conclude with a Shanti mantra, or if anybody has some queries after Chitraji. Yes, please.
Hari Om. So Krishna explains that the system of sacrifice has been there since the beginning. Even Brahma, the creator, his action of creation was also based out of the sacrifice. So this system of sacrifice is something that nobody can escape from. And a person who has understood this is truly free, and he knows that everything belongs to the divine. So he's not bound by these lower emotions or thoughts when any action is being performed. And Krishna says that one has to perform all these actions endlessly, basically cannot cease them, and they have to be performed with full detachment. Only such actions can elevate a person to reach higher planes of truth. And he quotes the example of how Raja Janaka, through his actions, became a realized one, and also his example. And we also saw that in the end that Krishna says that all the sacrifices reach only to him because he is the one who owns them. And the person performing these sacrifices is truly free and can experience a beautiful bond of friendship with the divine. So this is something that we saw today.
Yes, sir. So this is possible, isn't it, Dr. Chitrali? We can actually sacrifice everything to the divine and then we can experience that bliss. I think let us all try, we should all experience that many times. When I feel in that, that time I understand I'm not experiencing bliss. I'm not peaceful. I'm frustrated. I'm irritated. These are all moments where I have suddenly decided subconsciously or unconsciously to take control and I'm trying to interfere with the divine's working. That is the reason I feel all of those no lower emotions. So all those moments I have to understand, no, let me stop making this mistake. Only then I can improve. Only then I can progress. Then only I will be able to become a part of what the divine wants me to be. So I think with this we will conclude with the Shanti Mantra. हरि ओम् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम् तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
नमस्ते हरि ओम् यस् पुनर्मिलामः
Good night.
Hari Om.
हरि ओम्
Hari
Hari Om.
नमस्ते
Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
हरि ओम् जी नमस्ते जी नमस्ते